Hello and welcome, or welcome back if you're a returning viewer to the channel. WB here, and in this demonstration what I want to do is show you how you can use Snort in order to do a little bit of intrusion detection, and we're going to be doing this inside of an Ubuntu environment. As always, I ask if you enjoy what you see here on the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, click that notification bell. Any interaction you do with the channel is going to support us tremendously, and we do appreciate it. All right, everybody, let's go ahead. Let's dive into a demonstration on intrusion detection with Snort. All right, everybody, here we are on my desktop, and we're logged into the Ubuntu machine, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to get Snort installed. A couple of things that we'll do in order to accomplish this. You could use the local editor such as Nano. I'm going to go ahead and what I'm going to do here is install Jedit, and keep in mind you don't have to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to install this, and we'll get that installed. And then after that, we'll go ahead and we're going to get Snort installed, and then we have to make some configurations to get Snort up and running. And I'll show you how to do that. And looks like we should be done. There we are. We'll clear this out, and we're going to do a sudo apt install snort, not snot. That's a completely different lesson. Not sure you want to watch that one. Let's go ahead and we'll run this. And I do want to make mention of something, because one of the things that we're going to see is an interactive interface come up here, and we need to get some information here. So I'm going to open up another terminal here, and we're going to run IP adder, and let's grep this out to inet. I just want to grab this. Now I will say, if you're in Windows and you're installing this, you don't get this interface here. That is important to keep in mind. You're going to actually have to modify and add the local interface, the IP address, and the range if you are doing a local range. I'm going to do this just for this interface, but you will have to manually configure the snort.conf file. So we're going to go ahead and choose OK to that. We've added that. All right, and we'll let this get installed. And while we're doing that, let me go ahead. Let's switch over. I want to show you. I've got this installed on Windows, right? And we're going to be in the etc folder on Linux too, but it's in C:, here, and there's that snort.conf file. All right, and you'll see here there's a variety of different things. Let me go back up here to the top. And the file pretty much looks the same for Linux as well. A series of steps you have to go through to do some configuration of Snort. Depending on what you need, you might need some of them. You could need all of them. Again, that's just depending on your environment. Notice that we have the home net defined here, but I did have to manually come in here. And another thing you're going to see is that this is formatted to the Linux file system. So these rule paths that you have to come in here and define, you have to change them. You have to manually define those, and it'll show you in the comments. But keep in mind, you're going to change all these, including your allow list, deny list, white black list, where we can find those as well too. So I do want you to keep that in mind as we move forward, that you can install it on Windows, but like always, and I know you all are aware of this out there, it is a little bit different. So next thing that we're going to do here, now that we have got Snort installed, you could, if you wanted to, I don't think you have to sudo this, but I think you can do, yeah. So there you can see the version of Snort that we're running, and so we do have Snort installed. So let's go ahead and let's make some configurations. I do want to first of all show you the snort.conf file. So let's go ahead and we'll point Jedit to etc snort / there's a couple of different Snort configure. Actually, you know what? Let me show you. Let's navigate there and we'll just kind of check this out here. So looking at here, there are a couple of comp files here. You got a snort.conf file and you got a snort.debian.conf file, and I'm going to make mention of this one coming up here and showing you because it's a little bit different than what I showed you inside of Windows. So we're going to look at this one and then we're going to turn around and we're going to come back and look at this one as well too. So let me clear that out. And now what we'll do is we'll do a sudo gedit, and we are in that location, so we'll just point it here locally, snort.conf, and we're going to open this up. All right, so you'll notice that it's right. We got the same series of steps here, and you'll notice here where the variable, the home net variable is there, but notice it says any. And this is what differs a little bit when we're looking at, for instance, Linux versus Windows, and even here in your Debian versions, notice what it's saying. The value of snort home net. This is defined in that other file that I was telling you about. So let's go ahead and yeah, we're right here. Let's see. Let's do a sudo gedit. What am I doing here? etc snort. And let's look at the snort.debian.conf file, and we'll have to sudo await. We'll do that, and here's where I wanted you to see this. This is where, as part of that interactive installation, this is where that's defined, and that's what it's referencing. And it makes it really easy too, because it defines the interface as well. So just wanted to kind of show you that, and we'll close out of this. And I know it's going to give me a little error there. I'm not worried about that. And oops, we will not cleat. We will clear. So we might have to come back to that here in a moment. So if we go back to our snort.conf file, there are a variety of different things that you could configure. Some things are uncommented. Some things are already commented out. What I want to do is I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom here. And you're going to see there's a ton of these just under step 7, but if you go to step 8, a little bit too far. And these are a bunch of rules that can be defined that here, if you want, you can see some of them are uncommented already, and it is looking in the snort or the snort /rules folder for these. But what I'm going to do for this demonstration, the only one that we're going to look at is this one. Notice it says the include. And it says it's using the rule path variable, but it's saying, hey, local.rules. Those are the ones that you can customize for, create your own custom rules, and that's what we're going to do here. So just for this demonstration, I'm going to take everything all the way down to step 8. Just keep on going, and you can do this. See here, step 8, and we'll just save that. All right, now we just took that out of there, but I still want this one. I'll save it, and we'll clear the screen here. Now we need to modify those local rules as well too. So I tell you what, let's go ahead. Let's change into the rules directory and show you this. Right. So these are all of the rules that are defined, and there is when we look. Grep local rules. There we go. Made it easier. This is the one that we want here. You can see local rules, and this is the one that we're going to modify. So let me go ahead and clear out of this, and we are going to let's do a sudo gedit, and I'll kind of walk you through the structure here, and then we're going to do local rules. All right, we'll open this up here. All right, and let's talk a little bit about basics of the rule, how it will look when we are creating it. So this is going to be, it's going to start out rule type, packet type, what's the protocol, and then from here it'll be source address and the source port, and then it'll be the direction. So from source to destination, or from destination back to source. All right, so think of this as, here, let me, it's a little bit bigger there. All right, and then, so again, think of this as direction, and then from here we're going to do whatever the destination address is, and what is the destination port. And let's just keep this consistent, port. Then the next thing we need is a message. And our message will be here, something like message here. Got to have some exclamation points, that makes it important. And then you type a semicolon, and then here we'll do, it needs an ID, and we will make sure that that ID is at least over 1 million for those custom rules. All right, now, so that's going to be what it's going to look like. So our rule type is going to be an alert. We're going to look at ICMP, and by the way, I've got a Linux box that is pinging this machine, kind of simulating the attack right now. So the packet type is going to be ICMP, and then the source address is going to be any. Destination or source port is going to be any. This is going to be from source to destination, and we're going to call on that home net variable, and then that is our destination address. Our destination port is going to be any, and then we put in our message, and our message is going to be caution. Actually, let's do this in caps. Caution, ICMP packet detection. I cannot spell at all either. All right, there we go. Put your semicolon, then our identifier, and make sure I have that right, and then close that off. All right, so that's going to be our rule type, and let me just kind of look back over here, and I'm going to go ahead and save that, and we'll close that out, clear this, and then the next thing that we want to do is we want to test our configuration. We want to make sure that the configuration that we have done will run correctly. So what we can do here is we can do a sudo snort, and then a dash, uppercase T for testing. We're going to point it to our configuration file that we just configured. And then remember, that's in etc, and then the snort directory, and then it's snort.conf. Oops, .conf. And we'll run this. Now you'll notice down here, or up here, let's move that up a little bit, that it said snort fixed memory cost, snort successfully validated the configuration. Right, so we're good. We know that our snort's configured correctly. However, I do want to go back to that local rules here just for a second, and I want to show you something here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this semicolon to a comma. Right, so we're going to change the syntax. It's not in the proper syntax, and I'm going to save that and exit. Give me a little warning there. I'm not worried about that. And now we're going to retest our configuration. Now notice that when we retest our configuration here, it's telling me, hey, wait a second, there is an error, and it's telling me where that error is, and it's even telling me the line that the error is on. So if I go back here and we re-look at that, it's telling me here at line 10, you've got an issue with an unmatched, I think an unquoted match, I think it said. But let's go ahead now, change that back to what it is supposed to be, and it is the semicolon. Let me make sure I don't have too many spaces in there. Oops, there we go. That's what I want. All right, and we will save that again. Clear this, and we can retest our configuration. Notice that our configuration has passed. All right. So we've got snort installed, we've got it configured. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead, and what we'll do is we will type sudo snort. I'm going to type A. I want to output this to console -C for our configuration file, and we can point it specifically to our configuration file, snort, that is snort.conf, and we're going to go ahead and run this. Now, one of the things you're going to notice right away is that we've got some ICMP packets being detected, right? And that's because of that configuration that we made here in the snort.conf file, and also with the rules that we added to the local rules. So there you have it. A basic demonstration on how you can get Snort installed and up and running on your machines as well.